I have good news. So Kamala HQ is turning into headquarters. And
I'm barely even sure this is news, let alone good. We've got to check in with Kamala Harris, of course, the incredibly eloquent and not at all word salad-y failed Democratic presidential candidate and vice president under Joe Biden, who, she had an uphill battle in 2024 because she was handed the candidacy from Biden so short notice, but she still did not exactly cover herself in glory, and she lost to Donald Trump in pretty extraordinary fashion. Well, I miss her, as I'm sure you do, just the eloquence and wisdom that she brought to everyday politics. So what I was clamoring for is, like, when is Kamala going to make a comeback? Just kidding. Literally, no one asked for that or wanted that, but she's decided to. She's decided to make a social media comeback in particular, bringing back the viral social media accounts, the Kamala HQ accounts that posted all the edits and the memes and all the stuff like that, which it's interesting because clearly, they got a lot of attention and virality. And if that was the only metric for success, then maybe they were successful by that metric. But in terms of actually convincing people that need to be persuaded, or independents, or middle of the road voters, I don't think her edits and meme game and Billie Eilish and what was it? Like Coconut Girl Summer or whatever. What did she do? I can't even remember. It all feels like it was actually not that long ago, but it feels like ancient history. The memes she used to do about the coconut tree and all that. Well, she's revitalized those accounts and launched a new progressive content hub, including using Gen Z lingo to keep up with the kids. Anyway, I have lots of thoughts on this that I want to share with you guys. But first, let's just watch a recap of the news from Fox News. And then later, we're going to get to CNN, which also had a take on this that could have also been heard on Fox News. For once they agree. That's how you know it's cringe. Anyway, let's watch without further ado.
Is she efforting a comeback? The former VP relaunching her Kamala HQ social media accounts, which were originally used during that robust run for the White House in 2024.
Robust.
I have good news. So Kamala HQ is turning into headquarters, and it's where you can go online to get basically the latest of what's going on, and also to meet and revisit with some of our great, courageous leaders, be they elected leaders, community leaders, civic leaders, faith leaders, young leaders. I'm really excited about it. So stay engaged, and I'll see you out there.
Is the good news in the room with us? Because I'm barely even sure this is news, let alone good. I mean, I guess it has to be considered news because it went so viral and lots of people are talking about it, but no one was clamoring for Kamala Harris to make a comeback, for her to start yapping again. I really, find me one person who was waking up every morning and be like, gee, I wonder what Kamala thinks of everything that's going on. That only person is probably her husband and herself. So it's all kind of silly, and it's narcissistic a bit. And you know who it's good news for, actually? I retract my previous statement. It is good news for J.D. Vance, for Marco Rubio, for whatever Republicans consider running for president in 2028, because the more that Kamala Harris, with her spectacular, wiffle-waffly, like lack of a coherent vision or identity, and her total just absence of charisma or political talent, all of that, the more that she is elevated as a Democratic leader, God forbid, if she ended up being the Democratic nominee in 2028, that's a gift to Republicans. That's a gift to J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, whoever. I promise you, if they could have their pick, they would much rather run against Kamala Harris than a Gavin Newsom or a Pete Buttigieg or another similar Democrat who has far less baggage and has fewer, I don't even know what to call them, idiosyncrasies. perhaps. Now, I want to show you something from CNN, because even they couldn't help but laugh at this, their anchors. First, though, do make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. Do hit the like button while you're at it, and consider becoming a channel member to support my work. The views are down, and who knows if that's just seasonal or just YouTube trends, or if maybe my penchant for calling out the left and the right is hurting the channel. But either way, I'm not going to change. You can just make millions of dollars and blow up on social media if you just pander to, especially on YouTube, just pander to Team Red or just pander to Team Blue. I'm too opinionated. I'm too contrarian to do that. So I'm going to keep calling it like I see it, calling out the far left, the far right. But I need support from viewers like you. Call me PBS. So hit the join button to become a channel member, or hit the link in the description. You'll unlock early, full access to full-length ad-free episodes of the podcast with no annoying YouTube mid-rolls. I disable those for the membies. Anyway, guys, please do consider supporting me if you can. Now, let's look at CNN, because I think it's funny when even CNN anchors can't help but roast something that a Democrat announces. That's when you know it's really bad. Watch this clip.
By the way, the handle they're using, you can see there, we're zooming in on it, at headquarters_67. 67, as the kids used to say. Well, used to say a lot of things. And I think they also used to say, that's probably cringe.
So you just heard the voice of a CNN anchor there. I think it's Dana Bash, but I'm not sure. Reacting to the Kamala social media comeback and saying it's cringe. And even they think it's cringe, because they literally did. They actually put the handle as 67, as in headquarters 67, which is the meme the kids do of 6'7", and it's giving how do you do, fellow kids. And then it's the gif of the old dude with the hat backwards, the meme. It's oh my God, you're trying to it's cringeworthy pandering to young people that no one would ever do unironically. It just, I don't know, it just comes off as so inauthentic and stilted, and you're trying to be relatable too hard. Yes, and of course, I think the criticism of the 6'7" element of it clearly hit home, because they already changed it. As one account pointed out on X, Polling USA, which is actually a left-leaning account, says, sobbing, they didn't even stick with the 6'7" bit for a day. And then they show us the HQ account that's now changed to at headquarters 68. So, if they wanted to make juvenile people laugh, they could have made it 69. Even that, I think, would have been cringe, but perhaps not as cringe as 6'7". It's just a microcosm. Obviously, it doesn't really matter where they put 6'7" in the handle of this new thing, this new progressive hub of content and information. Because that's what we don't have enough of, by the way, is progressive influencers and woke information bubbles. We really need more of that as a society. I was just thinking that, but I just find it funny. I really do. And that they went with this and it bombed so spectacularly, even CNN roasted it. And then honestly, maybe my Twitter is not real life, and maybe my sample size or who I follow or who the algorithm feeds to me, because I don't even follow half these people, but is not representative. But I saw people from both the center left and the far left roasting this social media comeback effort by Kamala Harris, which I think is interesting. I think is revealing, because obviously Republicans and conservatives and libertarians and moderates are not going to like this and don't really like Kamala or want her back in their feeds. But the Democratic constituency is supposed to be who this appeals to. But from what I saw on social media, the reaction was mostly negative. So here's a center-left policy analyst, Maya Luna. She wrote a list of things about this. At 67 in the handle, quote, Gen Z-led progressive content hub, reeks of millennial, just Kamala Harris, next bullet, podcasts with diverse leaders. And then Maya concluded, she truly is a microcosm of everything wrong with the Democratic Party. Damn, Maya, tell us what you really think. And then, of course, I find it funny that the far left, the watermelon people, the socialists, the Free Palestine people online also hated this and also roasted Kamala. So here is a Free Palestine Twitter account with the emojis and everything. sharing this news and sharing the post from @HQ and saying, OMG, guys, it's called Headquarters 67, laughy face. Guys, it's 67, laughy face. I can't afford a home or groceries, and my taxes fund genocide, laughy face. But guys, they did the funny number, laughy face. So people aren't fans of this. Literally no one is buying it. No one asked for this. No one finds it interesting or clever. And everyone from Republicans to the far left, from Fox News to CNN, thinks that Kamala Harris's social media comeback efforts here is cringe. And honestly, if she does announce a presidential campaign at some point, I think they might feel the same way about that. The best thing Kamala could do is go walk off into the sunset with Doug and enjoy political retirement. But some people find it hard to quit. So maybe she'll double down and we'll be stuck with more of this. Clearly just so well done and so fascinating and popular content. What do you guys think, though? Definitely let me know in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet for some unknown reason. And do consider becoming a channel member to support my content.